take the stage.
All right, everybody, we're about to start. Here we go.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. It's so good to see you all here today. We're thrilled to see you in Western North Carolina. Welcome to our 15th annual North Carolina Child Hunger Leaders Conference and our first here in this beautiful part of the state. It's good to see many old friends and to meet new ones. I'm Luann Crumpler, Director of the Carolina Hunger Initiative, your host for today's event. On behalf of my colleagues who are here throughout the venue, Tamara, Helen, Jessica, Andrew, Marley, Jana, Thompson, Brenna, Heather, and Alex, welcome to the Orange Peel. And if you need them during the day, just find them. They're here, they're all day, they do a great job. Now, please look at your table and pick up one of the blue clappers. As a matter of fact, can someone hand me the blue clapper? All right. Y'all already know what to do. Okay, if you've been to the conference before, let's hear you clap. If you are here representing Western North Carolina, clap. And if you are glad to be here today, please, great. Wonderful, you all have the drill. This conference is about celebrating the incredible work that you and other North Carolinians are doing to feed kids across our state, inspiring each other with new ways to serve more healthy meals and to more kids in school, out of school, and in the summer months. At the Carolina Hunger Initiative, our mission is to expand access to healthy meals for all North Carolinians. CHI is based at the UNC Center for Health Promotion and Disease Prevention, where we also continue our long-term collaboration with No Kid Hungry. From awarding grants to showing up for summer kickoff events to hosting nutrition education classes, we are proud to partner with each of you. This year, the conference has a theme, Take the Stage. In this room, we are a community united by one common value. Kids deserve access to healthy food, no matter what. But there are many different ways to take the stage on behalf of kids. Today, you will hear from speakers from all corners of the state, from our food systems and schools and beyond, who are taking the stage in unique ways. They will help us discover new ways that each of us can take the stage in our own lives. And what better place to do it than at the iconic Orange Peel, where iconic musicians have been taking the stage for decades. We have planned a lively program for you today. We are pleased to welcome Attorney General Jeff Jackson as our keynote speaker later this morning. Very excited about Jeff Jackson. There will be time for networking, plenty of good food, and lots of poppy popcorn to take home. The official program concludes at 4 with our door prize drawing. Now, you all have been here before. Now, we always have door prizes at the end of the day. So today we have one prize, one amazing prize. It's a pair of tickets on the floor to the Eric Church concert this Friday night in Greensboro. This prize is provided by an anonymous donor to say thank you for all the hard work you are doing in your schools and communities. Again, the concert is this Friday night, and the prize drawing will be at 4 o'clock. You must be present to win. For the first time ever, we are hosting a celebratory post-conference event, a live concert right here at the Orange Peel, featuring Asheville's own rock covers band, Mission Accomplished. Who's up for the concert? These talented musicians, who are doctors and healthcare professionals in their day jobs, are committed to you and to the work you do. They are giving their time today, so we hope you will stay to enjoy the concert before you head home. Now, a few notes of appreciation. Thank you to Everyday Gourmet, who are serving our breakfast, lunch, and snacks today. We want to thank Blue Ridge Public Radio and Poppy Popcorn. Each provided in-kind support to the conference this year, so thank you to them. We are grateful to be able to produce this event each year thanks to the incredible support from our sponsors and for other generous donors. First, thank you to the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, which works with schools and communities to address child health issues. Thank you to the North Carolina Alliance for Health. They have worked on many different policy projects over the years, including the mission for feeding kids. They're right down here. Next, thank you to No Kid Hungry and Share Our Strength. Our friend Marissa is here. We appreciate our partner with the National No Kid Hungry campaign for 15 years since we began together in 2011. We are so thankful that No Kid Hungry is sponsoring our annual conference again this year. Thank you to Blue Cross and Blue Shield Foundation. I saw Mary earlier. Where are you guys? There they are. We are grateful for the many ways that you support organizations and people who across the state to advance health, including nutritious food for children. And we are especially grateful today to Dogwood Health Trust for their commitment to the people of Western North Carolina and to us at the Carolina Hunger Initiative. They are investing in our mission to improve access to healthy food for children in the region. Dogwood Health Trust is the presenting partner of today's conference. Thank you for your support for this day and beyond. We are excited to be working with you in Western North Carolina, and we are thrilled that you have inspired us to convene here in Asheville today. I'm so pleased to introduce to you the Vice President of Grantmaking and Strategy, here to greet you on behalf of Dogwood Health Trust. So get your clappers ready and give it up. It's time to welcome to the stage Jehan Benton-Clark. Take the stage. There she comes.
Well, good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the Carolina Hunger Initiative for organizing this powerful gathering, a community built on hope, determination, and a shared belief that no child in North Carolina should go hungry. I'm honored to represent Dogwood Health Trust this morning, a foundation deeply committed to dramatically improving the health and well-being of all Western North Carolinians, no exceptions. And thank you for being here today, advocates, educators, food system leaders, nonprofit champions, community champions united by this mission. And with my gratitude, I welcome you not just to Asheville, but to the mountains of Western North Carolina. This region is known for breathtaking beauty, our Blue Ridge peaks, our rivers and valleys, our music, our small towns connected by winding roads and deep relationships. It's a place shaped by resilience, by partnership, and by strong connections to our land and our community. It is also a region that has been through a great deal. Hurricane Helene tested our infrastructure and our spirits. Economic shifts have strained small businesses and family farms. Like many rural communities across the country, Western North Carolina has been navigating workforce shortages, market instability, and uncertainty in public funding. And yet, this region also represents what is possible when people show up for one another. Collaboration for us is foundational. It's how we respond, it's how we rebuild, it's how we feed our neighbors. So we are especially honored to welcome you to a place that understands both the fragility and the strength of local food systems. At Dogwood, the framing that guides our work in this space is simple but intentional: food, farming, and families. We chose these words carefully. We care about food ecosystems, not because hunger is urgent, though it absolutely is. We care about strong local food systems because they are economically vital to our region, because when our farms are sustainable, when food is accessible, and when families are supported, communities thrive. Farmers markets are community gathering spaces. Local producers supply restaurants, our schools, and our food distribution hubs. Our neighbors choose to buy local produce, not just because of price, but because of connection. Strong local food ecosystems matter economically, but they also matter because they allow our families to thrive. Food, farming, and families are deeply interconnected. When one is disrupted, the others feel it. And recently, we felt that disruption. From Hurricane Helene to shifts in SNAP funding to uncertainty about programs that integrate food and health, we are watching significant changes unfold in real time. Organizations that build infrastructure and trust are navigating instability. Farmers are adapting to volatile markets, and families are facing rising costs and hard choices. These moments remind us that food systems are living ecosystems. They require both immediate response and long-term stewardship. At Dogwood, we are applying this strategic lens of food, farming, and families across our existing work in policy and advocacy, stronger organizations, collaboration and innovation, and when needed, flexible investments that respond to the moment. This lens helps us ask better questions. How do we meet the urgent needs of today while also building the kind of regional food system that supports food security, farm stability, and family well-being for the long term? How we hold the tension between emergency response and systems change. In 2025, we made significant investments in food-related programming across Western North Carolina. Most of that support strengthened community-rooted organizations, food banks, food hubs, advocacy partners, and collaborative efforts. When SNAP disruptions created immediate hardship during our prolonged government shutdown, we responded with additional emergency funding to help stabilize families. But the story is not simply about deploying emergency funding or filling gaps in times of crisis. It's about what happens when those investments intersect with schools, with children, and with everyday family life. Because when children face hunger, the consequences are immediate and long-term. We know that students who lack consistent access to nutritious food struggle with concentration, attendance, and academic performance. We know that chronic food insecurity contributes to toxic stress, affecting emotional regulation, physical health, and long-term development. We know that the summer months, when school meals disappear, creates gaps that ripple throughout households. And we know that schools are more than educational institutions. They are trusted hubs of nourishment, stability, and connection. As we look toward 2026, we are committed to learning alongside partners across the region, understanding the evolving policy landscape, listening to schools and families, and refining how we show up. We want to be disciplined and thoughtful with our approaches. We can strengthen relationships, we can invest in infrastructure, we can support advocacy, and we can sustain this momentum. Through the lens of food and farming, we see children more clearly. We see families more clearly, and we see connections between nourishment, education, health, and economic stability. And when I look across this room, I see the people who are making the connections real every day. Advocates expanding access to school meals, educators identifying students in need of support, farmers supplying fresh food to local institutions, nonprofit leaders coordinating distribution and outreach, policy experts protecting and strengthening benefits. Despite the challenges we may face, when I see each of you, I remain hopeful. Western North Carolina knows something about resilience. We know something about rebuilding, and we know something about what happens when community leads. So as we gather here in a region shaped by beauty, by hardship, and by deep relationships, let's carry both urgency and hope. Let's meet today's hunger with compassion. Let's strengthen the systems that feed our children. And let's continue building North Carolina where every child in every county has reliable access to food and the opportunity to be healthy and thrive. Welcome to Western North Carolina, and thank you so much for being a part of this work.
Thank you, Jehan. Well, let's keep the welcomes going. And now to tell you more about National School Breakfast Week, it's time for the Superintendent of Buncombe County Schools, Rob Jackson, to take the stage.
Good morning. I am so incredibly excited to be here with you this morning, to be in a room with those who share our passion for eliminating and preventing childhood hunger fills my heart. My name is Rob Jackson. I have the incredible honor and blessing of serving as the superintendent of Buncombe County Schools. Here we serve just over 22,000 students in 45 schools. It's hard for me to believe that I started in our school system almost 35 years ago as a school secretary and school custodian. From that perspective, I saw what happened in our schools. And now 35 years later, 12 years as superintendent, I can tell you that in our 45 schools and in schools across our great state, certainly throughout Western North Carolina, some of the most important work that happens in a schoolhouse happens in our cafeterias. That's a bold statement. Some of the most important work that happens in a schoolhouse happens in the cafeteria. Our researchers like Maslow say that our children can't reach self-actualization and learning without their basic needs being met first. If they're hungry, they can't attend to the amazing instructional activities our teachers have put together for them. If they're hungry, their brains don't work as well. And so we know the important work that takes place in our cafeterias. Just about 10 years ago, there was a school system outside of Dallas, Texas, that posted on social media this new event that they had. It was perfect for social media. They posted it was perfect because every other school system, including ours, looked at that and went, "Oh, that's really cool. We should do that too." What they posted was this really cool concept called a senior walk, where they allowed the high school seniors to put on their cap and gown and parade through their elementary and middle schools. And it was the coolest thing ever. And as I watched it, I found myself a bit surprised, though I shouldn't have been. Because as seniors walked down the hallways and they hugged their teachers and high-fived and enjoyed seeing the little guys looking up with them with such praise and excitement, what I saw was that the biggest hugs, the most passionate hugs, the rib-cracking hugs were saved for the incredible men and women who serve in the cafeteria. You see, as they walked around the corner and they saw them, you saw their eyes light up because here was someone who knows me by name, who every single year, regardless of how I matriculated through grades from teacher to teacher, was there in my cafeteria, who saw in my face if I was having a good day or not such a good day, who made sure that I had all the important stuff on my tray, not just the fun stuff, who took care of me, who in every moment served certainly food and nutrition and made sure that hunger was met with what was needed, but more importantly, served love. This is a big week. You see, this is National School Breakfast Week, and so I'm so delighted that we were able to break our fast together as we come together in one of my most favorite events of the year. I wish every conference planner attended this conference to go, "Oh, this is how we should be doing this," because it's so amazing. Across our school system, we're excited that every single day, every single one of our students receive free breakfast and lunch because 3 years ago, our child nutrition director came to me in my office, Ms. Payne. She's here. You'll hear from her a little bit later. And she said, "We need to take advantage of this community eligibility provision." And I looked at the numbers, and they were a bit frightening because if it doesn't work out, you could be in a tough spot. But she said, "I believe in us. I believe that we will make sure our participation rate stays where it needs to be, and this is going to work out." On Thursday night, our associate superintendent will present to our Board of Education our mid-year results. And part of what Dr. Jennifer Reed will present to our Board of Education is that a year and a half after Hurricane Helene, every single student group in Buncombe County Schools is making tremendous academic progress. Note, thank you. Note when I say things like every single student group is making progress and every single student has access to free breakfast and lunch. Like you, I'm passionate about this work. I can't wait until we have universal breakfast for every child in North Carolina. My friends, enjoy the day. Welcome to our beautiful Western North Carolina. Welcome to Buncombe County. I have a lot of teammates right back there in the corner. If you can't find something, we'll also make sure you have what you need. Have a great day. Thank you for the work you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Jackson. Here to introduce a special video is the Director of the Governor's Western Office, Holly Jones. Take the stage.
Good morning. I'm Holly Jones. I'm honored to be the Director of the Governor's Western Office, and I'm so pleased to be with all of you dedicated leaders today as you discuss one of the state's most pressing issues, child hunger. In North Carolina rural communities, including most of Western North Carolina, 1 in 4 children go hungry every day. And this tragic situation existed in our region before Hurricane Helene, and it is even more challenging now. But this reminds us that rebuilding Western North Carolina isn't just about putting things back the way they were. It's about strengthening our communities for generations to come. Luckily, Western North Carolina could not ask for a better partner, leader, and friend than Governor Josh Stein. Since stepping, thank you, on his behalf. Since stepping into office just over a year ago, Governor Stein has worked tirelessly to rebuild Western North Carolina. Fighting child hunger is an essential part of the governor's mission to build a safer, stronger, and healthier North Carolina. When the federal government shut down last fall, pausing SNAP payments, Governor Stein and his team stepped up. They activated a public-private partnership that delivered nearly $22 million to food banks across North Carolina in just over 3 weeks. And that included our beloved Manna Food Bank here in this region, which received an $850,000 donation on behalf of the state. Thanks to Governor Stein, the Sunbucks Summer Food Program is returning this year. Yay! Ensuring that when after school is let out, hundreds of North Carolina children will have access to affordable, healthy, and nourishing food during their summer break. Thank you all so much for coming today. Nothing is impossible when great, caring, smart leaders get behind and unite behind a common goal. And together, I'm confident that we will work towards a future where no child has to be hungry. Now, please join me in viewing Governor Stein's message for us.
Hi, I'm Governor Josh Stein. Thank you so much to the Carolina Hunger Initiative for the opportunity to join you by video this morning. Thank you to today's presenting sponsor, the Dogwood Health Trust, and to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services and the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction for supporting this important work. To every child hunger leader here today, nutrition professional, food bank staff, volunteer, and educator, thank you for your commitment to ending child hunger in North Carolina. This is an all-hands-on-deck effort. Studies show that 1 in 5 children in our state goes hungry every day. In our rural counties, that number is 1 in 3. We cannot accept these numbers, and that's what makes your partnership so valuable. This week happens to be the National School Breakfast Week. When children can count on eating a healthy meal to start the day at school, they show up ready to learn. That's why I included $85 million in my proposed budget to offer free universal breakfast to all North Carolina students. When kids have a full stomach at school, their physical, mental, and behavioral health is better, and they get higher grades and better scores on their tests. At the same time, we know that hunger doesn't take a vacation when school's out for the summer. That's why the Sunbucks program is so critical. A federal program, it provides financial support to families to buy food for their children over the summer when kids are not in school getting a free breakfast and lunch. To draw down federal funding, the state has to come up with $1 for every 25 federal dollars. That's incredible leverage. Without a state budget, however, all of that help for this summer was at risk. That's why my administration got to work raising money from philanthropy to meet the state's share. I'm pleased to report that as a result, the Sunbucks Nutrition Assistance Program will be returning to North Carolina for the summer of 2026, helping to feed more than 1 million school-aged children in the state. We need a long-term solution, however, so I'm calling on the General Assembly to fund this important program on a going-forward basis. Of course, ending child hunger doesn't stop at the schoolhouse gates. The reality is that groceries, especially nutritious groceries, are far too expensive for too many families. It's particularly true in our rural counties. So that's why I'm so grateful to the philanthropies who helped to fund our food banks when SNAP was paused in November. They contributed $12 million on top of the state's $10 million contribution. And that's why I fought so hard last summer to protect SNAP from unprecedented federal cuts that unfortunately were ultimately passed in H.R. 1. These federal changes put our entire SNAP program at risk in 2027. I've been calling on the federal government to delay the implementation of H.R. 1 until fiscal year 2030 so that we states and the counties have adequate time to reduce our error rates and to hold states harmless for the errors that occurred during the chaotic period of the federal government shutdown. I'm grateful to the team at NCDHHS and to the caseworkers across all 100 counties who are working incredibly hard to drive down the number of errors as much as possible. But this federal action, slashing SNAP funding, will certainly leave states footing the bill, including administrative expenses. We need the General Assembly to fully fund SNAP in the state budget because we cannot risk losing this program, which nearly 1.3 million North Carolinians, including more than 500,000 children, depend on. I want to thank you again to all the people in the room for stepping up to fight hunger. This year's theme, Take the Stage, could not be more fitting. You're stepping up and showing up for our kids. Whether you're working in school cafeterias, volunteering in food bank warehouses, working to enroll people in the SNAP program, serving others out of church basements, or driving delivering vans, you are making a difference. I urge the people in this room to keep the faith and keep taking the stage. I also ask you to contact your state legislators and urge them to pass a fiscally responsible budget that keeps our kids fed. Together, we will work toward building a North Carolina that is safer, stronger, and healthier so that every child has the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. Thank you.